All right, so it's been a good 2 weeks since I pulled this engine out of that car right there, and the goal of this weekend is to at least get the engine in. I think that that's doable for the day, but specifically for today, I'm planning on taking the transmission off of the old engine, getting it mounted onto the new engine, the new used engine basically, and kind of just flip-flop these two so I can get the old one on the engine stand and the other one further prepared to go into the car. So that's the goal of the day. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out now and start working on the transmission, pulling it apart. All right, got everything pulled out. Got the old motor on the hoist here. There's only a couple of bolts that hold the transmission on, and I already got the ones on the bottom out behind close to the engine. So there's a couple long ones and a couple shorter ones. The shorter ones go down here on the bottom. So there's one there, there's one there. The long one goes on the top side. This is the starter location where the starter goes. And then coming over to the other side, here's where that other longer one was right here. So there's 4 on the bottom, and then those ones are 14, and then these ones right here are 17 mil. There's supposed to be one here as well, one there. I was missing one here. I gotta find out. There's actually been a couple of things I've discovered while doing this. It's just, I guess, par for the course when you're working on a car that's 30 years old. You're just gonna find some things that should be buttoned up. So I'm gonna continue here. Gonna go ahead and get the transmission separated. Plan is to lower it down because I already got the back bolts off. I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down onto the one tire, and then I'll have this front tire in the front to be able to pull the transmission straight down to there. At least that's the plan. We will see if that all works out as planned, but it's only a couple bolts holding this together. That actually came apart pretty easy. Once I took those bolts off the top, there was one up here and one right there. I was able to just pull it right out. The transmission probably weighs about 100 pounds. I mean, it's not something you could just throw over your shoulder, but it's also not something you have to worry about smashing your toes. This is a small 4-cylinder, so all small parts. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the clutch off, as you can see, and this clutch has actually been replaced before. It's not the OEM, it's not an original clutch. It is a Exidy clutch, stage 1. I found that I had a stage 2 clutch in here at one time, long time ago, and this fork actually broke. This is what pushes against the clutch, and this actually broke, and so I had to replace that one specifically. I have had the transmission reworked before as well, so I'm not too concerned about the transmission being a problem. It's already been drained, and I knew that it needed new fluid. I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up some because it's pretty damn dirty. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the clutch off here, and I'm not going to worry about taking too many things off the engine right now. I want to get it on the engine stand, and I want to get that engine basically right here. So do a little flip-flop, and then I'll have free access to kind of take off, because I got to take off stuff, you know, the wiring not the wiring harness, excuse me, the distributor wires. This one's broken, you know. All right. So this part's not so bad. You know, you just got these bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 on the clutch to take off. So it's not really that bad. This is a 12 mil. All these are 12 mil. My sockets like to all stick together. So just loosen these up and pop the top part of the clutch off. Alright, pretty loose now. Just take them all off the bottom. See how this clutch is. Honestly, like, I probably should put a new clutch in. I think once I rebuild the engine and put it back together, I'll probably swap out the clutch. This clutch was only like $150. It really wasn't that much. Let's see. Pull this off. Oh, shoot. Forgot one bolt. Ah, there's always one. There it comes. Okay, oh, just popped right off. Look at that. So it just came right off. Still looking pretty good, to be honest with you. Clutch. You know, I think it'll be fine. To be real with you, I mean, I don't know. At least, you know, I don't really drive too hard. It's still got a good 1/4 of an inch on each side. So I think I'm just gonna reuse it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna reuse it. Alright, so I know that these ones are on here really tight. So I'm gonna use my impact if I can. Let's see if we can knock these loose. Usually just a couple of pops will get them loose. What are these, 18? Oh, I think there's still a 17. Where's my 17? Now, I'm not using impact sockets. I don't really care. I just use what I got. Let's see. Nice. Nice. Easy. 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 Look at that. Those came off so easy. Boom. So those came off super easy. The joys of having an impact. You just got to remember, all these bolts that come off of this part of the flywheel and the clutch all have to be torqued down. You know, it looks like there's a little bit of thread lock in here also. Let's see. Come on. Let's see. So I'll have to get some thread lock or something. I might have some, but I gotta look. Boy, all this Looks like there's rust in here. So I'm gonna make sure I clean this up. Let's take these out. Yeah, there's something on these. Some type of thread lock. I'll look in the book. And whatever the book recommends. If I have some, great. If not, O'Reilly's is literally down the street. So this should just pop off. Yep, just like that. So there's the flywheel. Pretty easy. I'm just gonna put it over here on the rubber mat. So I don't want these to get all scraped up or whatever. Try to keep them as nice as possible. And then we have this metal piece right here. It should just come off. Oh wait, there's 2 nuts right there. There. No, there. They look like they're maybe at 8. Let's see. Got another. These are small. These are just a small socket. Yeah, there it is. What is this? It's a 10. The infamous 10 millimeter, right? And these just pop right off too. It's just the back plate between the transmission and the engine. Just a little metal plate. Just comes right off like that. That's it. I'm gonna clean that up. And there you have it for the most part. That's where we want this engine to be. I am gonna go ahead and pull off the other engine off the stand, balance this one on this tire. I gotta free up a tire also so I can put the engine on. So a little bit of stuff to do. Yeah, I got this engine just kind of braced like that, sketchy as hell. That's okay. It's only gonna be for a minute. Pulling this one up. Just getting this one all situated to pull off. I left all these just in there because it'll be a guide for me when I'm putting it back together. You know, I'm gonna know what needs to be plugged in and what doesn't. I also left all these in there. These are the old plugs. And what I did is I pulled off some of these and I lined them up with the engine I pulled out just to make sure they all clipped on, and they did. And so that was really nice, knowing that the engine sensors are the same exact clips. You know, I went to this one here on the coolant. This is where the coolant goes into the radiator. And I tested these right here. Pulled them off of here and put them on the other engine. They clipped right in. This engine has 83,000 miles on it. Definitely a big difference from this one. This one has well over 250,000 miles. The car has 360,000. And so that should tell you, you know, I've done quite a lot of work on this car over the years from owning it. I mean, the clutch doesn't look that bad. I just replaced this about 4 or 5 years ago. That, I think, is a new flywheel as well. I bought both of those new. I'm going to pull the transmission off this tire because I need to set that engine on a tire while I pick that one up and put it on the engine stand. So this is really what I wanted to get accomplished today. That way I can start taking the pieces I need off of this engine, the brackets, the pulleys, the spark plugs. I don't have to take off any of the tubing really, but I think there's some that I might have to, I don't know, but that's just things I'm going to go through. And then that way I really want to get this prepared to install tomorrow. That's the goal. All right, well, let's just keep on going. Get these pieces moved around. So I got all these engines just kind of like sitting on pieces of wood. Look at this. It's kind of leaning. I don't want them to rest on the oil pan. I got my tranny right there. Sitting on some wood. That could sit on the floor. And here's the engine I'm putting in. Just kind of got it braced up. I only have this mount right here. I only got one of them, so I gotta switch it back and forth. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this engine now and load her up on the engine stand. So thankfully nothing's gonna be sitting for too long. All right, so finally got the old engine that was in the car mounted on the stand. I did it a little different. I was just trying to rework how this mount, I've only used it a couple of times, and I'm just trying to figure it out each time. I had to improvise with a spacer here because this bolt is actually too long to go in this hole, and it's like this long right here. It's like as long as this one, and it bottoms out because there's no threads in the first portion of it, as you can see on that one. Like, there's no threads. So I just went and grabbed the bearing, and I used a couple of the washers that I had. This should be fine. This is gonna get completely disassembled, so I'll be taking lots of pictures of it and recording what I'm doing, because I haven't ripped an engine like this apart before, and it's all new territory. So just like any person doing this type of task should do, is you should have a book for your car, and I do. So this is a Haynes repair manual. I recommend having one of these books because, doing an internet search is all well and good. I definitely would not trust the AI responses because some of them are generic, and I really like to just look at the book, look at the torque specs. What I'm looking for is the torque specs for the clutch, the flywheel, those components, and the transmission. And then in this book, you go into the front portion of each chapter, and it'll tell you exactly what everything is. Here's all the thread sizes. Like, this book literally will tell you everything you need to know. I mean, there are some things that when you get into it, you're just gonna have to figure it out. No lie about that. But if you take your time and you kind of document as you go, a lot of this stuff to me seems like there's unique connections. Each one's unique. The things that I really need to know and be sure I get right are the torque specs, because you don't want a bolt flying off inside the transmission that obviously can be catastrophic. So I recommend looking in the book. All right, just finished up looking at the book, and the torque specs for the pressure plate to flywheel bolts is 168 inch-pounds, and then the flywheel bolts themselves are 58 pounds, and I multiplied those by 12 because my torque wrench handles torque in inch-pounds, and that's 696 inch-pounds, and my torque wrench goes up to 960, something like that. But in here, in looking, this is the information for the flywheel, and it tells me, flywheel manual transaction 58. Anywhere there's just the number, that's foot-pounds. Anywhere it says like 168 inch-pounds is obviously inch-pounds. But when there's not a specification in there for the type where it says inches or inch-pounds, then that's actually pounds. And I found that, like I said, in this book. There's 2 chapters that I had to go through. One for the transmission torque specs. So I had to get the clutch pressure plate to flywheel bolts. That's 168 inch-pounds. And I started in the back of the book. And so you go to the table of the contents, look for exactly what you're looking for, transmission, flywheel, and then you just drill down. It gives you the number in the top corner of the page, and you just go to that page and start reading. Most of this book I've read, or at least skimmed through. I've had this book for years. I've had this car for 20 something years. So I've gone through this book many a times. I have 2 of them, as a matter of fact, because sometimes I lose one. But yeah, really good idea, really good investment. They're not very much. They're maybe $50 at most. But it's nice when you're doing the job and you're looking at the car. You can just peruse through the book to see what things you may or may not need. I also just realized that I need thread lock. So, reading through this on how to take off the flywheel and take apart the clutch, it says when you're putting it back together, you use some thread lock. So I'm going to see if I have some high temp thread lock. It's going to be definitely very important to have that inside there. So that's a little tip for this video. I just got this. This is the engine I'm going to put in the car. I put the drive plate on there, and I got 2 bolts that need to go in there. One there, one there. I was just looking up the torque specifications, and it's the same torque as the flywheel bolts, which is 58. So it actually says the drive plate and the flywheel bolts are all 58 pounds. Multiply that by 12, it's 696 inch-pounds. So that's what I'm going to be putting on these. I got some high temp. I got some high temp thread lock that I'm going to be using. And so let's go ahead and get my torque wrench set up and get these put in. All right, so just got done setting up my torque wrench to the 58 pounds. That's going to be for these 2 bolts, and it's also going to be for the flywheel bolts. The pressure plate has a different spec. The pressure plate, when I put that on, it's 168 inch-pounds. So just gonna get this. Oh, shit just kind of went all over the place. I just need a little bit. I don't need to put a lot on here, just a little bit. It's probably way too much. But I definitely don't want these coming out. So it is what it is. All these holes look pretty clean. The bolts I just got done cleaning up. I wiped them off, and then I used a thing for the battery terminals, and I just kind of ran them around in there. And then I wiped them out just to make sure they were all clean. So these are 10s. All right. No, I'm not gonna pump these to that high. That's way too high. These will get stripped out. Yeah, these will get stripped out because it's going into aluminum. So I'm not going to do those too aggressive. I think if I do try to torque those down, I think they're gonna strip. All right. Since I didn't just pull this off and put it back on, it came from a different engine. I didn't bother looking at the direction it was on there. So I guess I'm not really going to be concerned with it now. Just going to put it on there. Just going to put one in to hold it. Come on. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get the rest of these lubed up and put in there. It really just takes a little bit. Come on. There it comes. There we go. Just put a little bead on there, and it'll be fine. Just put that in there. All right. I'm sure these will be a pain in the ass to get out, but at least they'll stay in, right? Cross that bridge when we come to it. Got another few weeks before we'll be driving this car, but I might be able to start it tomorrow, maybe. I was going to change the fuel filter also. Since the fuel filter that's on there right now is legit OEM, I don't think it's ever been replaced. And since the lifetime of the car might expire at an engine swap, might be something I want to do. I actually have. Wow, is this empty? Okay, there it goes. That's not empty. These in. This is the last one. Okay. Okay. All right, it's that one. Nope. Get that adapter. Okay, this is already set. So this is already set. It's 696 or 58 foot-pounds. So we're gonna just snug all these up. What was that? That was the handle. Snug all these up. Okay. Just go around. Just gonna keep, because the pressure plate has to push down on the spindle. So I'll end up holding the flywheel here in a minute. Okay. All these are snugged up. Okay. All right. I'm gonna find something to hold the flywheel. All right, so stuck a screwdriver in there, and that should hold it. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Let's see. All right, that's not gonna work. All right, wait. Okay, maybe that'll work. I'll hold it. All right, just gonna keep working around. Oh, that one already hit. Oh, that one already hit. 58 pounds. Oh, it's not really that much, to be honest with you. All right, just keep working around. Oh, that one hit. Let's try this one. Just a little bit at a time. Oh, that one hit. Oh, that one hit. I'm just going to go around. Nope. Oh, that one hit. All right. Okay. 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 So we got 58 pounds on each one of them. All right. That was a nice. All right. For the next step to get the clutch on, I'm going to raise it up a little bit. Raise it up. All right. Raise it up some. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and tilt it this way some, like that. All right. All right. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. The flywheel is just a little bit dirty. So I'm going to clean it up for a second. Swipe it off. Oh, I'm done with my torque wrench at that high, so I'm going to release the pressure in it. That way it's not holding that pressure. All right, cool. All right, so it's a little black around the edges here, so I'm just going to get a little bit of this, and I'm going to wipe it off. Actually, that looks pretty good. To be real with you, there's no scrapes in it. This is just like dust from the clutch. You know, you're going to have a little bit of that. So, I'll tell you, those 58 pounds wasn't very much. I thought it was going to be a little bit harder than that. You know, when you're converting it to inch pounds and you're like, oh, shoot, it's 600 and da-da-da-da. You know, maybe the larger number just made me think it was going to be harder to press down. But, you know, I'm 173 pounds, 75 pounds. So you put a little bit of body pressure on there and boom, boom. You can get it pretty easily, actually. So this looks pretty good. All right, doesn't need to be spotless. Okay, oh, that's, yeah, I mean, I figure 6 months at least. I probably want to use this engine for a while, you know, just because it takes a lot of effort to swap them out. Now learning all this firsthand, you know, doing it firsthand, really get to experience how long it takes. And so I think this is about good. So this is a little alignment, hard to see. It's just a alignment tool that you use to keep the clutch and everything centered. And what you do is this goes on like this. You just put this in there, and it just holds the clutch. Holds it. Centers it, and then line this up with those. And essentially, it stays. All right, so now we got to do 168 inch-pounds on the torque wrench. Got to go in the sunlight to do this. Okay, so I got the clutch and the clutch plate on there. These bolts are 168 inch-pounds. So I went ahead and set up my torque wrench. It's nice because it's actually in inch-pounds. It shows inch-pounds. So it's got little lines on there to count it up. I think I'm about 170. Yeah, it calls for 168. I did like 170. I don't want to go too much over, but I definitely don't want to be under. So I figured that was a good stopping point, I guess you could say. So just gonna put these in, just like I did the clutch plate. I just kind of want to. Oh, I need an extension on this. Grab an extension real quick so it make it a little easier to thread them in the initial way. So just putting a little dab on each one, just going around. And use this to get them in there snug. Just snug. There's like 8 of them. 2, 4, 6. There's 6 of them. Just put a little dabble of thread lock on. And going in. You know, I think one of the most important parts of putting an engine together, aside from making sure the parts line up and stuff, but get the torque specs right. You know, especially on these moving parts. I mean, I always still question my skills and abilities, and is that put together right? Did I torque that? Did I connect that? I always think about that stuff. So I just want to take my time like I am. Make sure I dot every I, cross every T. You know, there's not a whole lot that I had to take apart and put back together. Really, this is the most mechanical, I guess you could say, component that I've taken apart. Everything else is electrical connections and cooling hoses, stuff like that. So a lot of the other stuff really isn't mechanical and require torque specs. Just gonna go around with the torque wrench. Like I said, I already got it set, so just kind of go around, just keep snugging them all up. I mean, that's a pretty low inch pounds, so I'm probably gonna hit it relatively quick. All right, that one stopped. Once it like stops, then I'll go on to the next one. There it goes. That one stopped. You know, you can just feel it. Okay, there it goes. Okay, like that stopped. Slow and steady, slow and steady. Okay. Oh, that already hit. That hit already. Wow. Yeah, so like I said, it's not very much. What was that? Uh-oh. Is that one gone? Okay. Oh, that hit already too? Alright, let me close up my Loctite here. Okay, let's see. Oh, that hit. Oh, that one hit. That one hit. That one hit. And that one hit. Wow, that's not very much. That's not very much at all. I mean, at all. Like, really? Oh, like, I can almost hold it and make it pop. I mean, I still got my screwdriver here. Let me see. Yeah, that's not very much. I'll tell you what. Yeah, like, I mean, bam. 168 inch pounds is like nothing. But I guess with the Loctite, you know, that's it. So now I should be able to pull that out. Yeah, and the clutch is secure. I'm gonna leave it in for now and try to line up the transmission. All right, so the goal is to set the transmission on top of the jack and then slide it over to the engine and put it on. So that's the plan. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the engine forward so it's level, right? So that way it's level. And then what I can do is I should be able to kind of just put them together. I got to pick up some stuff real quick. All right, I think I'm ready. I just kind of had to move some stuff around. So this transmission's not really too heavy. Just got to make sure I am careful Okay, so there's a dowel right there. And this has to be like level. All right, so let's pump this up. Okay. So this was always gonna be the fun part. Okay, so it looks like I need to come down already. I think this. Oh man, that lines up pretty good. Let's pop this out. All right. Okay, let's see. Did that fall? Nope, I'm still in the center. Okay. It's just a pain in the butt. Okay. So it goes right there. That dowel goes right there, so I just need a. Okay. So it goes. This. Yeah, because it was in there. Yep. Okay, so that was a little bit of a pain. I'm gonna take a rest for a minute and then put a couple of bolts in to hold it and then pick up the engine a little bit. That was a task. All right, got a couple of bolts. I'm gonna try to put in here. Good, that one grabbed. All right, let's try this one. This one. Okay, wow. Oh, it's this one. This is the long one. All right, that lined up. Nice. Once I snug these up, I can lift it up. All right, well, this is no good no more. All right, well, maybe it is. Oh, let me get my... That was a task, honestly. That was a task getting that engine on there, or getting the transmission on there. Yeah, that wasn't super easy, but I think it's just mostly because it's heavy, right? It's the weight of the transmission, and I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, you know. I'm sure there's an easier way to do all this, but you know, you got to learn by trying and doing. And so that's really what I'm doing here. Learning as I go. You know, maybe next time I'll think about a way to hold the transmission better. Maybe do something as far as the jack better, or, you know, using a tire or something so they don't have to lift it. Maybe having the engine, maybe the engine's up too high being on the tire. Obviously having two people would make it easier. However, it's just one guy, so you got to kind of figure it out on my own. All right, I'm going to snug these up. All right, so we got the transmission connected to the engine. It's connected on there with 2 bolts. I got the 2 long ones. So now I'm just going to kind of pick it up and get it off. Get it off the ground a little bit, and then I'm gonna put the rest of the bolts in there. All right, well, this is really what I wanted to accomplish today, is getting these 2 together. Yeah, so this is a really good win for me. I stayed on task today and got these 2 together. I mean, tomorrow's gonna be the other components. All right, so let's get this. Let's get these in here. Oh, and the 2 long ones are on the outside. Oh wait, on the outside. Here. Got a long one there, a little short one here. Gonna have to. What is this? These are 13s. Oh shoot, 14s? Okay, 14. So I need. Let me get my other. I am sweating up a storm. Where's my other socket wrench? Here it is. All right, kind of wearing out. So yeah, I'm just putting these bolts back on the bottom. I'm sorry, the back of the transmission. There was 4 bolts on the back that I took off. And let's put these back on. Basically, you got a couple that go from the transmission side into that tightening. Uh-oh, that's not good. All right, so that's not tightening enough to even go in there. I hope that's not a good sign. Maybe it's just not, just doesn't have enough thread to get it. Let's use this long one. Let's see if this long one bottoms out. Let's see. I may have them wrong. I may need to use the short ones on the top and the longer ones on the bottom. Let's see. Uh-oh. Okay, so that one. So maybe I have them wrong here. Shorty's on the top, long one's on the bottom. It's hard to tell. You know, this car has been, oh yeah, that doesn't even fit in there. So we're gonna have to see. Oh, that one's considerably shorter. Oh. So what is the deal? Okay, we'll put another long one in here. Well, I got 2 short ones here. And I don't know if, let's see, if this one even grabs. This might not even grab. It doesn't even grab. Oh, so that doesn't even work. Oh, wait. Hold up. Hold up. Maybe I just okay, so I had just the way the bolts were going back in. The 2 long ones went on this side and the 2 shorter ones went on the other side. So I'm just gonna connect these up and put it all away, put it on the tire, call it a day. This is where I wanted to be today. Getting these 2 together, the engine going into the car and getting the old one on the stand. All right, I'll do some more tomorrow.